All right. Morning, Ryan. We're gonna get right
Morning, Terrance. How have you been, man?
good, good. We're gonna get right into just some quick thoughts starting off that just relate to the community and relationships. So go ahead and take it from here.
One of the things that's been on my mind recently is just how advice is given and received, especially when it comes to the men. A lot of the times we get advice, sometimes superficial,
Mm.
sometimes deep, but we can't understand what the person is trying to get across. And a lot of that falls into the category of not how to be a man, but how to look like you're a man. And if somebody just spent a few minutes looking into you, they might realize that you're just acting like a man. And one way that we can help fix this is realize that the difference between a man and a jerk. And I wanted to talk about this a lot because from a male perspective, understanding this difference is very important. A jerk is somebody who is simply rude and stands up maybe for something, but may crumble under pressure. And really, it's just about being abrasive. You're really not caring about other people's emotions, not being sympathetic.
Mm.
But somebody who stands up for something is not necessarily rude. It's that they have a good reason for believing in their morals or ethics or believing in a cause, and they have reasons for it, and they're simply not going to turn their back on that just because they get some pressure. And this is where the difference of being a man versus looking like a man is very important, especially from a woman's side. If you don't know how to evaluate the man in front of you, then oftentimes you may end up thinking that a jerk is a man, but in reality, they're just trying to look like they're a man. And a very easy way of evaluating the man in front of you is simply being able to have a conversation about why they believe what they believe. Because somebody who's acting or putting on that farce or that mask will not be able to come up with true in-depth reasons as to why they're taking a certain stance. And if you look further, the reasons they might try and come up with gives you more insight into the fact that they're simply following a trend or taking on the characteristics of the people around them and they haven't thought about it for themselves. And a man, although he is influenced by the people closest to him, still has a very strong sense of identity and of self that they can stand up for something even if it's different from their friends. So, woman, if you're coming up with, if you are in front of a man and you're trying to assess, or you're, kind of drawn to him because of maybe he has a strong masculine presence to you, because, he's not going to be bullied by anybody, a very quick way is to just ask him a few questions. That's it. And really look into it. And guys, if we have an unpopular opinion, that's fine. If we believe in something, that's fine. But a very quick way that women who know what they see in front of them are going to see in you is that you're not a man. You're trying to pretend to be a man. And the quickest way to fix it is have a reason for what you believe in and stand up for it no matter what. But also a man will change his opinion given facts. And a man who will not change his opinion no matter what, even giving facts contrary to it, will be seen as hard-headed, abrasive, and rough and difficult to work with. So just fixing that can make you more attractive to the people that you are attracted to. And it will also improve your relationships because it means that they're being founded on something strong with reason. But it also means that you're dynamic enough that should things change, you know how to build it from there. Otherwise, if we're just reacting to the trends around us, then we don't really know how to get to where we want to be because we don't really understand the reason for what we're doing right now.
Absolutely. Somebody that won't change their mind in the face of overwhelming evidence against their opinion, is a liability.
Yep,
They just don't know it yet, but they're a liability and will be seen as a liability by logical people.
absolutely. And to break that down to a simple concept, it's like being coachable. At a high
Yeah.
level of athletics, you are not only expected as an athlete in team sports to be a leader in your own right, but also be coachable. Meaning that if a coach comes to you and says, hey, your technique or your idea or your play that you're trying is superb, but here's how you can make it better, or here's the problem with it, that you can listen and independently understand how to apply it. And that's what makes a good man. But it also makes a good person, good man, good woman, good anything, especially in a relationship, is being able to deal with that dynamic and that nuance.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about this more on our event on Saturday, but that goes into other ways to look to see whether you're dealing with a real person or if you're dealing with a sociopathic chameleon trying to pretend to be a good person. And a lot of that is that person's setup of how they're getting information, who's advising them.
Mhm.
You can tell a lot about people by who advises them.
And I like what you said is real person, because at the end of the day in relationships, we're looking for real people.
Hmm.
None of us are perfect. We're trying to get across a very simple way of understanding the process of making ourselves better
Hmm.
and looking for that relationship and crafting it. And we're going to mess up sometimes, and we're not going to always be the person we want to be. But at the end of the day, we all want real people, us and the person we're interested in. And being a real person is really a good foundation and where to start. We're all just trying to be good people, and we all just want to find a real person. If we can be a real person, it'll be one huge step to making that relationship and making it work.
Absolutely. So it's one of the things I constantly tell myself when I'm walking around or I'm communicating with somebody is, am I being authentic?
Hmm.
And one of the ways I live that is, am I saying things I believe in?
Hmm.
And am I not agreeing with the things I do not agree with? So
Hmm.
we start violating the components of our own psyche when we go along with things we don't believe in. So like I'm laughing right now because my cat is on one end a friendly cat. On the other end, she's like murdering this toy mouse. Like it's like brutal, man. It's been going on for like 10 or 15 minutes. So it's like the one time a mouse ended up in our last house, we could not get her away from that mouse. That mouse died a bad death, but in those moments you realize just how the true nature of a cat. That
Hmm.
this is a creature that is much faster than you,
Hmm.
unless you were really, really fast and agile, and kills for fun.
Hmm.
And so that's why it's so important to go through these processes. And if you don't want to go through them, then you have to pay somebody to teach you how to go through them quickly. Because there are so many people out there pretending to be someone. It's
Hmm.
like the book I'm reading right now in closing, Trust Me, I'm Lying. And it
Hmm.
talks about how Ryan Holiday manipulates the media. And so many individuals, they don't realize how susceptible we are to falling for a story.
Hmm.
That if somebody gives you a story and you're waiting for the climax, how it increases, your excitement. And
Hmm.
before you know it, it's easy to fall down the path that they're putting in front of you, regardless of whether there's an ounce of truth involved in it. So again, that's why we're here. We're having fun teaching, learning, and going forward. So until later,
See you guys.
see ya.